I have played a lot of truly horrendous experiences on this channel. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Dragon Age the Veilguard, Unknown Nine Awakening, but one of the worst was Lost Records Bloom and Rage. I did not like this experience at all whatsoever, and I've never heard anybody talking positively about it, but just a couple of weeks ago we heard that it met sales expectations and it was doing decently, but I guess when you expect zero is going to look pretty good on paper, and now we're finding out that Lost Records developer Don't Nod is laying off staff. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I don't like to revel in the fact that people are losing their jobs, but when you suck at your job and you are creating slop that nobody wants to experience, yeah, you probably didn't deserve to have that job in the first place. And this is what happens when you hire a slew of activists to make a game for activists when really this isn't the type of content that gamers want to consume. I know that there is a small, I guess, audience out there who probably is okay with this content, the people who still read The Gamer and Kotaku and Polygon on the daily, even though those outlets are also dying, but it doesn't seem that they ever really show up to monetarily support content. Now, when I played this, I played it through PlayStation Plus, so I did not support these developers monetarily, and I'm sure that a lot of the people who ended up trying out this experience played it the same way, because we know that the sales numbers were not looking good, at least on Steam, and now we also have the fact that they are going through layoffs. But really quickly, I did want to let you guys know that when I streamed it, I of course gave my review, and I do now have a second channel called Vara Dark Reviews where I clip out my live streamed reviews so that you guys can just watch the 15 or 20 minute clips. This one was only 10 minutes long because I had nothing good to say about it, but that channel will be linked down below. I'd appreciate it if you could go over and subscribe to it. So it says, Don't Nod, the developer behind Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, Jusant, and the recently announced Aphelion, is laying off staff from its Montreal office. Man, I can't believe that more Canadian game developers are getting laid off. This is just so sad, guys. I mean, those Canadians, they're making so much good content. Look at how they've helped with games like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and The South of Midnight, and Unknown Nine Awakening. Sweet Baby's doing a lot up there. I'm sorry, my sarcasm was off the charts with this one. The wave of layoffs comes from select developers who've been struck by the cuts who posted about them publicly on LinkedIn. Eurogamer has contacted Don't Nod for comment as to how many staff have been affected, as well as the reasoning for the layoffs. Now, I can't imagine that they had hundreds to thousands of developers, but the fact that one of their upcoming games, Aphelion, was just shown at the Xbox Game Showcase a few weeks back, and it was already getting wrecked by gamers for looking like more generic space slop, that does not bode in their favor. They said, though, I am saddened to say I was part of yet another wave of layoffs affecting the video game industry. Companies overhired, and while we see them still releasing content, they're also canceling a lot of projects. They're realizing that they bloated their numbers too much, and that's just going to lead to inevitable layoffs. Sure, there are some decent people in these ranks that got laid off. I'm certain of it, but I can't say that I feel all that bad for like 85% of them. I am incredibly proud of what the team at Don't Nod Montreal accomplished with Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, and shipping the game with this level of quality was nothing short of a miracle in the circumstances. I get that there are visual novels out there that people love. I love a couple of visual novels myself. I'm not a complete hater. The problem is that this game was literally just walking and listening to the woes of these young women who have been wronged by the men in their lives in society, and how they only had each other. They were all lesbians. They all are wronged by the people around them. They're completely misunderstood. Really, the only reason why they become friends is because they're all so misunderstood. It's just not a good story. When you're creating something like a visual novel, the story has to be near perfection, and I don't really think it could be that hard to create a game where characters are just walking around and talking the entire time. He continued by saying, I am incredibly proud of what we've created. I wish for all others affected by this wave of layoffs to land on their feet quickly, as they are truly exceptional people. If they truly were exceptional at their job, they'd still probably have them. But while we had heard not even that long ago that apparently this met their sales expectations, the Steam player counts are painting a very different picture. So Don't Nod had revealed the first commercial results of its newer project, the narrative adventure Lost Records Bloom and Rage, from the creators of the cult classic Life is Strange. According to the quarterly financial report, the launch of pre-orders and sales for the game's 2 episodes, scheduled for early 2025, so they've already released, had been described as strong and fully confirmed the effectiveness of the chosen publishing strategy. And listen, if this is a game that you think looks cool and you played it and you enjoyed it, that's great. On one hand, right, I always say that developers need to be making new and unique content. So I do want to give them a little bit of credit for creating something new instead of just taking an existing franchise and dissecting it and infecting it. But when you're still creating something, whether it is new content or a rehash of content or you are reviving a certain franchise, you still need to be making good content. And Lost Records Bloom and Rage was not good content in any way, shape, or form. So they had said, oh, the sales were strong, but I don't know. For me personally, when I see the all-time peak was 2,996, that doesn't scream wildly successful to me personally. And yes, it was also on like PlayStation, and I know that there's people who played it through PlayStation Plus, but PlayStation Plus does not equal sales. So when you're hearing that sales are good, you would expect to see the sales on one of the major platforms it's launched on, in this case Steam, to be better than this. I mean, in-game right now, 73. Granted, it's a short experience. Each tape was around 5 hours long, so it's only like 10 hours worth of content. And for an experience like this, you're going to play it, and once you're done, you're only going to come back if they release like new story content or DLC, which they're never going to release anything else for Bloom and Rage again, at least. I hope so I don't have to play it since I live streamed it previously. But yeah, I mean, 3,000 for the developers behind something like Life is Strange is absolutely terrible. You would think that Don't Nod would be able to pull more than a few thousand people on such a major platform. So it's not like it ever really did that good. And the owner estimations, I personally don't believe. The owner estimations are 63,000 on the low end and 120,000 on the high end. But typically when we see numbers like this, the all-time peak player count is like 10,000 to 15,000. So these don't really match up, at least in my opinion. And also in the top sellers, it was number 1,312 and only ever had 26,000 followers. So yeah, this never really got off the ground. And I can't say I feel all that bad for these developers because they just created a really bad product overall. And I know that they are getting kind of memed on social media. Not too many people are memeing them, but the few that like picked up on this post definitely are. Smash JT posted, "Oh no." Anyway, go woke, go broke. Ha, ha, ha. So in other words, they're bending the knee. Shocking, not. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this to see if anybody that worked on this game comes out and makes any sort of statements. But as of right now, it's not looking good for Don't Nod as they are going through layoffs after their latest game, Lost Records, The Bloom and Rage, which was an extremely woke experience, failed. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.